So, all you left-leaning Labour activists in the NHS, I bet you all regret campaigning for them now, don't you? That's because Keir Starmer's screwed you all over as well. He's slowly working through every industry in the UK to see who he can screw the most, apart from, of course, the London train drivers. He seems to value their votes over anyone else. Oh, and grooming gangs, of course. So earlier today, Keir Starmer announced that he's abolishing NHS England. He said it's hands over more control to politicians. These people can't even control themselves, for heaven's sake. Ah, dear. And he also says there's more money for nurses. Well, nah, that's not going to happen. I mean, he basically wants control of the NHS fully. And if you think the NHS is just not worth the paper it's written on and a complete bureaucracy nightmare, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Can you imagine being an employee of hard-left communist Labour? Well, that's what's going to happen. And it looks like 16,000 staff will just lose their jobs, all in order to save 190 million quid. Well, they won't save it. That money will just move to the DHSC, which is the Department of Health and Social Care. And if they do move the 16,000 staff from NHS to DHSC, rather than sacking them, then they'll be renamed as DHSC employees. And this is going to cost more than they're going to save, because no doubt they'll spend quite a bit on consultants to bring both departments together, the DHSC and NHS. And if they do, is it to pay or just transfer these people over from the NHS to the DHSC, which means they'll have the same people running the same crap and having the same managers. The problem with the NHS is the middle managers. There are managers in the NHS which shouldn't be there. All the DEI hires and the multiculturalism and diversity managers, they should all be gone. It's nothing to do with saving lives, what they're doing. NHS should never be about politics. We should be training our own people to save our own people's lives. That's what it's all about. That's why you pay into the system. So what Labour are effectively doing is selling off the NHS. After years of telling you that the Tories are going to sell it off to a private company, Labour are actually doing it. And it's the start of privatisation, because it won't be the government running it. It'll be private companies. And what are the bets that it's actually BlackRock who Starmer was making a deal with, hence the CEO at Downing Street a few months ago. So you had him, you had Bill Gates there, all having a nice cosy meeting. Even freedom of information requests were turned down to find out why, but I think this is why. And there was no clarity on savings or job cuts. No clarity whatsoever. Now this is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a paperwork, red tape, bureaucracy nightmare. It's going to get worse. And is this the real reason why NHS directors, doctors, nurses, staff, etc. were all resigning recently? There's been a lot going on with the NHS. They've had cyber attacks. Who knows, but it doesn't bode well for all our people. So there we go. The latest victims of Starmer's Labour is the NHS. Go figure. And there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, Roger Trout.